Right now, somewhere in your kitchen, there is probably at least one food that could seriously harm your dog. Not exotic ingredients, not obscure chemicals. Everyday foods that most households have sitting on the counter or in the fridge. Foods that seem completely harmless and are perfectly fine for humans, but can cause organ failure, seizures, or worse in dogs. This is not a scare video. This is information every dog owner needs to have, because the most dangerous situations are not the ones where you know the risk. They are the ones where you had no idea there was a risk at all. Let's go through all 7. Food number 1, grapes and raisins. This one surprises almost everyone. Grapes and raisins look so innocent, small, natural, healthy. People toss them to their dogs as treats all the time without a second thought. But grapes and raisins are one of the most unpredictably dangerous foods a dog can consume. The terrifying thing about grapes is that veterinary science still does not fully understand why they are toxic to dogs. The exact compound responsible has not been definitively identified. What we do know is that grape and raisin toxicity causes acute kidney failure in dogs. And it does not follow a predictable dose pattern. Some dogs eat a single grape and go into kidney failure. Other dogs eat a whole bunch and seem fine. There is no safe amount. There is no breed or size that is immune. Every dog is potentially at risk from any quantity. Symptoms of grape toxicity include vomiting, diarrhea, lethargy, loss of appetite, abdominal pain, and decreased urination, all signs that the kidneys are shutting down. Symptoms can appear within 6 to 12 hours of ingestion. If your dog eats even one grape or raisin, call your vet immediately. Do not wait to see if symptoms develop. Time is critical with kidney damage. Food number 2, xylitol. Most people have never heard of xylitol, but it is in more products than you would ever guess. And it is extremely dangerous to dogs. Xylitol is an artificial sweetener used in sugar-free products. Chewing gum, sugar-free peanut butter, certain baked goods, some vitamins and supplements, toothpaste, mouthwash, and many diabetic-friendly foods all commonly contain xylitol. In humans, xylitol is harmless. In dogs, it triggers a massive release of insulin from the pancreas, causing blood sugar to drop to dangerously low levels in as little as 30 minutes. This is called hypoglycemia, and it can cause weakness, collapse, and seizures. At higher doses, xylitol also causes acute liver failure in dogs. Liver failure from xylitol can be fatal within days, even with treatment. The critical action item from this video is this: go and check your peanut butter right now. Many popular peanut butter brands have added xylitol to their sugar-free versions. If it contains xylitol, keep it completely away from your dog. Always check ingredient labels on any sugar-free product before it gets anywhere near your dog. Food number 3, onions and garlic. Onions and garlic are in almost everything we cook: soups, sauces, stir-fries, meat dishes, seasoned leftovers. And this is exactly what makes them so dangerous to dogs. They are easy to feed accidentally. Onions and garlic belong to the allium family, and all members of this family, including leeks, chives, and shallots, are toxic to dogs in any form: raw, cooked, powdered, or dehydrated. Garlic powder is actually more concentrated and therefore more dangerous than fresh garlic. Allium toxicity works by damaging the red blood cells in your dog's body. The damaged cells cannot carry oxygen properly and break apart, a condition called hemolytic anemia. Symptoms include pale or yellowish gums, extreme weakness, rapid breathing, dark-colored urine, and collapse. The scary thing about onion and garlic toxicity is that symptoms are often delayed, sometimes appearing 3 to 5 days after ingestion. You might think your dog is fine, and then suddenly they are not. The most common way dogs get poisoned by onions and garlic is through table scraps and homemade food. Never give your dog leftover human food that was cooked with onion, garlic, or any allium ingredient. Food number 4, chocolate. Most dog owners know chocolate is bad for dogs, but many underestimate just how serious it can be, or don't realize that different types of chocolate carry very different levels of risk. Chocolate contains two toxic compounds for dogs, theobromine and caffeine. Dogs metabolize these substances much more slowly than humans, allowing toxic levels to build up in their system. The severity of chocolate poisoning depends on the type of chocolate and the size of the dog. Dark chocolate and baking chocolate contain far higher levels of theobromine than milk chocolate or white chocolate. A small dog eating a large piece of dark chocolate can experience severe toxicity. A large dog eating a small amount of milk chocolate may have mild symptoms or none at all. Symptoms of chocolate toxicity include vomiting, diarrhea, excessive thirst, rapid breathing, muscle tremors, and seizures. In severe cases, it can cause heart arrhythmia and death. The highest risk periods are holidays, Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, and Easter, when chocolate is abundant in the home and often left within a dog's reach. Be especially vigilant during these times and make sure chocolate is stored completely out of reach and not left on counters or low tables. Food number 5, macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are another food that most dog owners do not know is toxic. And the mechanism of toxicity is still not fully understood, similar to grapes. What we do know is that macadamia nuts cause a specific and distinctive reaction in dogs: weakness and paralysis of the hind legs, vomiting, tremors, fever, and lethargy. Symptoms typically appear within 12 hours of ingestion. The good news about macadamia nut toxicity is that it is rarely fatal on its own. However, when combined with chocolate, as in macadamia nut chocolate cookies, the combination is significantly more dangerous. Macadamia nuts are commonly found in cookies, trail mix, granola bars, and confectionery. If you keep these in your home, store them securely away from curious dogs. Food number 6, avocado. Avocado contains a compound called persin, found in the skin, pit, leaves, and flesh of the fruit. Persin is harmless to humans but toxic to many animals, including dogs. In dogs, persin can cause vomiting, diarrhea, and fluid accumulation in the chest, which can interfere with breathing. The pit is an additional hazard. It is the perfect size to cause a complete gastrointestinal obstruction if swallowed, which is a life-threatening emergency requiring immediate surgery. Avocado toxicity in dogs is generally less severe than grape or xylitol toxicity, but it is still a food to keep away from dogs entirely, especially given how popular avocados have become and how often they are left accessible on countertops. If you have a dog that counter-surfs, storing avocados in a closed cupboard is the safest approach. Food number 7, alcohol. This one might seem obvious, but alcohol poisoning in dogs happens more often than people realize, and not always because of drinks. Alcohol is present in some surprising places. Certain fruit breads and cakes that use fermented ingredients, raw yeast dough, some sauces and marinades, and obviously all alcoholic beverages. Dogs are dramatically more sensitive to alcohol than humans. Even a small amount relative to their body weight can cause vomiting, disorientation, breathing difficulties, dangerously low blood sugar, coma, and death. Raw yeast dough is particularly dangerous because it continues to ferment in the warm environment of the stomach, producing alcohol internally and also expanding, which can cause the stomach to rupture. Never leave alcoholic drinks unattended at parties or gatherings where dogs are present. And never give your dog bread dough to eat, even as a joke. What should you do if your dog eats any of these foods? First, stay calm. Panicking does not help your dog. Second, call your vet or an emergency animal poison helpline immediately. In the US, you can call the ASPCA Animal Poison Control Center at 888-4-264-435. They are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Third, tell them exactly what your dog ate, how much and when. This information helps them assess the severity and advise the right course of action. Fourth, do not try to induce vomiting at home unless specifically instructed to by a vet. In some cases, inducing vomiting can make things worse depending on what was ingested. Time is the most critical factor in poisoning cases. The faster you act, the better the outcome. Now, let's end on something positive, because there are plenty of human foods that are completely safe and even beneficial for dogs. Carrots, blueberries, watermelon without seeds or rind, cooked chicken, plain cooked rice, green beans, cooked sweet potato, and plain pumpkin are all safe and healthy options for dogs. These make great treats and food toppers without any of the risks we just covered. The rule of thumb is simple. When in doubt, don't feed it. A quick search of "can dogs eat?" followed by any food will tell you within seconds whether it is safe. That 10-second check could save your dog's life. Share this video with every dog owner you know. This is the kind of information that genuinely makes a difference. And if you want to keep understanding your dog better, subscribe to TheDogWhyss. We break down dog behavior, health, and training every single week. See you in the next one.